We've been making episodes for over a year now, and we haven't taken the time to properly reflect on what that means. There's a big world out there. For noobs, it can be rough. Personally, I don't care about loot, and it seems to create a rift when we're going on questing and equipping gear that's going to be useful for me. But that's okay. When you're playing with a group of friends, there's an understanding that the team will take care of the team. Do yourself a favor and look out at a horizon and reflect on what it means to be a viewer of Squirrel Dove Boar Calf. We'll keep on churning out the episodes like some creamy ice cream on a warm summer day. Ice cream.
Let's do worst moment on stage. I've got two. I'll start. When I was 6 years old in the first grade, the school was having a sort of a parent talent show, which in hindsight is like, what? But that's what was going on. And my dad played the guitar. That was what my dad did, and he wanted to play the guitar for the school. It was the whole school was there, and their parents, the whole school, and everybody's, like everybody's parents and their school. So, and I'm in the lowest grade other than the kindergartners, but they don't count. I think there's other stuff going on in here, right? Like we gotta wait for this person to finish.
If for the saga of whatever, then yeah, you gotta wait for him to do his whole spiel.
Yeah. Oh, there's more guys to kill. So he gets up there and he says, I've got two kids at this school, Billy, Sarah. Why don't you both grab 5 or 6 friends and come on up here? And instantly, it was the worst. 5 or 6 friends?
Yeah.
I was looking around me and everybody was like, don't pull me up.
I am not your friend.
This is not the time to pull me up there. So I was like, I think I got 5 friends. Pulled them together and went up there. My sister definitely had 5 or 6 friends. She probably had 7 friends. I can't remember. There were a lot of people on stage. And she was popular, even for a second grader. Just always really good with other people. But so he starts playing Old MacDonald. And I realize, unlike my sister Sarah, who's, as far as I remember, at the beginning of the line, I recognize that I am at the end of the line. And I don't know if you know Old MacDonald, but the way it goes is that you say an animal, and then you do its sound. And as I was watching those 12 other kids go up there and give their animal and say their sound, I kept thinking, I think it got to about 6 or 7 kids, and I was like, I can't even think of one now at this point. Like, what other animals would you find on a farm? It was a 12-round song of Old MacDonald, and I was last. So, I'm fairly certain, and I can't remember my answer, but I'm fairly certain I know what my answer is, or was in the moment. And I can't remember because it was so traumatic. Because basically, I delivered an animal, and that animal had no recognizable sound that went with it. And I'm fairly certain that I said a rabbit. It was terrible. I felt just awful. I just wanted to punch my dad right in the junk. I was so upset.
Oh, that's so funny.
Wow.
We gotta get these bats. So, and then the second one is also a school one. I was in a choir in the 5th grade. I was in a new school. And it was sort of like a rougher school than I was used to, but it didn't matter. Basically, I was in choir, as all the kids were, but I auditioned to be one of the soloists in the year-end performance to have a part, and I got it. I got one of the 3 solo parts, and And my line was, I can be a doctor on who you can rely. That was my line. That's the only thing I had to sing alone. And so we were singing. I didn't really know how it was going to happen. I had been practicing in the morning, at school. I'd gone into school to practice. I still, remember the practice room and everything. That's how traumatizing this is, because, my mind just replayed it all back so many times, why did I fail? Mm-hmm. And, my sister's class is, backstage, because they go on after us, and we're singing our song, and the teacher, makes the move to, say, come on in, come on over, soloists. We need the 3 soloists down here because your part's coming up. And I just trudged on down there, feeling just fine about things. A little nervous, because again, auditorium packed with people. And it got to me, and I said, I can be a doctor, and I froze. And I looked wide-eyed at my teacher, who was looking back at me like this. And I just totally froze. Totally could not deliver the line and just froze the entire line. Just said I can be a doctor.
At least
no reliance on me.
Oh no. There is a beautiful correlation there.
There is a 97 Orc Hunter over here.
Hello.
Oh, and a 97 Undead Warlock.
My goodness. My worst stage moment was, again, in middle school. And we were doing this play called Chateau La Roche. And it was about a hotel that was overrun by giant monster roaches. And it was a really funny script, and we were doing such a good job in all of our rehearsals, and I was like, yeah, this is going to be so fun. And I had the lead, and I was like, yeah, this is so great. And then, for some reason or another, on our show night, everyone except for about 4 people just didn't know any of their lines. They knew them all during the rehearsal, but they all kept forgetting, and they were all just chatting backstage and being kids, because we were 13 or 14. But it was a big deal to some of us. We actually cared about it. And it was supposed to be an 1.5 hour long show, and it turned into just over 3 hours, I believe.
Whoa.
Because we were trying to piece together, people would just say stuff. They would improvise things that didn't make any sense to the script, and it's well, now we have to do this because you said that it is happening. Our teacher actually threw down her copy of the script and left about halfway through. So we were on our own. All of our parents were watching.
You did that to yourself, Breadbreaker. Don't hit him. Don't hit him. He's got 430,000 health. He's hitting Breadbreaker because Breadbreaker attacked him.
Oh, okay.
He's not attacking anyone else?
He's not attacking anyone else. He nods at Scooter Flute.
Hey. I'll dance.
Wow.
But yeah, so basically it was horrible, and we had to, the couple of us that knew our lines had to just kind of be backstage with people next time you come out, say this, because this is kind of where we're supposed to be. And we were trying to piece it together, but it was awful, and I was so embarrassed. What are you guys are dancing?
You see this?
I want to dance
really
too.
Funny. Oh yeah.
I should probably go back there and start dancing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so fun. This is getting tweeted.
Oh.
Bye bye.